Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. My name is Amir. So for today's episode, I want to talk about Pelle Larsson, and I want to talk about how I think Pelle should be in this Miami Heat's rotation for the rest of the year. I don't want to see him with another DMP on a random week where he gets, a few games where he gets 20, 30 minutes, and then all of a sudden he doesn't play anymore. So this rookie has been great so far. He's turning heads with his recent performances, and it's clear that Erik Spoelstra does have a tough decision on his hands moving forward. And again, the question I'm asking you, Heat Nation, is should Pelle Larsson be a mainstay in the Heat's rotation? So let's break that down for today's episode. But before we do, make sure you like, comment, and share and subscribe to the channel if you guys are enjoying this Miami Heat content. So let's dive into today's episode. So Pelle Larsson's recent performance against the Dallas Mavericks was huge. So he had a career night. He had 14 points on 75% from the field. So he was shooting lights out, super effective. He added 5 rebounds. He had 1 steal in 37 minutes, which was a game high, I believe. And not only was he super active on both ends of the court and scored those 14 points on 75% shooting from the field, but he was a plus 17 in the game, meaning he was a huge positive for the Miami Heat when he was on the floor, and which is why I think he should be a mainstay in this rotation moving forward. He's one of the best players in this draft in terms of second-round picks. He definitely fits this Miami Heat culture and mold as a plug-and-play glue type guy who could play multiple positions. So it's awesome to see him making an impact early on and getting some opportunity. And that's the kind of impact you do want to see from a player that's trying to earn more minutes on a rookie contract, someone who's just got drafted. And what I think is even more impressive is that this wasn't a one-off performance for Pelle. This is actually the second time this season that Larsson has scored in double figures, showing that he's becoming more and more reliable when Coach Spo calls him off the bench. And so, as we know, the Miami Heat do have a deep bench, and they do have a lot of players that can contribute on any given night. And those players could be Jaime Hawkins Jr., there's Nikola Jovic now on the bench. Kevin Love has had some really good games recently. Duncan Robinson was on the bench before he started. We'll see what happens with Terry Rozier when he comes back. Is Duncan going to go back on the bench, or is Terry going to come off the bench? So they have a lot of guys that can contribute. Alec Burks has been great. He played well with Pelle in that game against the Mavericks, and both of them were actually in the closing lineup, which I thought was really interesting. So that's the thing. The competition for those minutes is going to be fierce, and we never know what Spo's thinking, and he could be stubborn when he wants certain players to play. Like Jay Rich had such a long leash, and I understand why, because he's been in the system and he's one of Spo's favorites, but thank God he let go of that finally and allowed Burks and Pelle to get more opportunities. But again, that competition is fierce. Anything can happen, but he is ready. You could see that he's ready. And if there are other injuries throughout the season, then for sure that's going to thrust him into that rotation. But I still think he earns that already. So I think Pelle's confidence is huge. That's something that he has, is that confidence in himself, and he's maximizing the opportunities. Those are key factors for rookies to grow and gain confidence. And when given the chance, he doesn't shy away. He makes the most of it. He makes the right plays, and he tries to contribute not just with scoring. Like, he could score, obviously. He can hit the three. He could slash. He could cut really well. So he's a good off-ball player, but he's helping on the rebounding end, on defensive rebounding, which has been a struggle for this Miami Heat team. And then, of course, defending. He is playing full court press defense, which is huge. He's taking on Kyrie Irving, the Dallas Mavericks' best player since Luka was not playing. And so he's doing everything he can to make a significant impact on the floor, which is exactly what Miami Heat needs. So let's talk about what Jimmy Butler had to say about Pelle as well. So after the win against the Mavericks, Jimmy said that Larsson reminded him of himself during his early NBA days. And he said, honestly, it's hard not to see the similarities. Butler pointed out that Larsson does everything. He could shoot, he can handle the ball, He could finish at the rim. He even guards players bigger than him. As Jimmy also said, as the game will continuously slow down for him, he's just going to get more and more comfortable and better. Jimmy said he has like a really high basketball IQ and definitely a great work ethic. He sees him always in the gym first, last one to leave. And he said the biggest difference between him and Pelle was that Pelle was a better shooter compared to Jimmy Butler when he was a rookie playing for the Chicago Bulls. Coach Eric Spoelstra has also been impressed by Larsson's energy and hard work. And after the Mavs game, Spo was quoted saying, Pelle played so hard. He really played hard, picked up full court, guarding bigger guys, throwing his body all around. That's exactly the type of effort Spo looks for in his players, especially from a young guy looking to carve out a role in the rotation. So Larsson's defensive effort, that's something that cannot be overlooked. That's why he's getting time, I'm assuming. Spo loves his defensive schemes. If players can't play defense, they're not going to be in the rotation. So that's a huge part of why he should also be in the rotation, is because he tries super hard on both ends. He has the motor, the energy, and the passion to play on defense, and that's like most of the battle. Not many folks in the NBA care as much as he does on the defensive end. So he can guard multiple positions, and his intensity on the defensive end is something that the Miami Heat needs and adds a dynamic to that defense. And this defense has been struggling compared to former years. I think the last time I saw, I think before the Dallas game, they were 11th in defensive rating, and last season they were number 5. So their offense is getting a little bit better, but their defense is slipping this season. So I think their offensive rating was like 15 or 16. So compared to 21 or 22 from last season. So they're getting better on the offensive side, thankfully, the last week or two. But the defense is slipping, and they need someone like Pelle off the bench, or Pelle who's going to put in the hard work. So why do you think the Miami Heat should keep him in the rotation? I think he should be in the rotation for all the reasons I've said throughout this video. But my question to you, Heat Nation, is: do you think Pelle should be in the rotation for the remainder of the year? Whose minutes do you think he'll take? Do you think Jay Rich will go back into the rotation? Do you think he'll take away minutes from Burks or Duncan, perhaps when Terry comes back? Who knows? But either way, he's been a huge asset to this roster. And again, he's been able to step up and has been great when his number has been called upon. And for a rookie, he is someone that looks pretty polished. And to wrap it up, I think Pelle Larsson has all the tools to be a key part of this Miami Heat's rotation. And I think his scoring will improve. His defense is going to definitely improve. But he has that hustle. He has that Miami Heat culture and that fit and that dog in him. And so as he continues to grow and he gets and wins over the veterans like Jimmy Butler, it's going to be clear that Larsson is going to make an impact for this team for the future to come. So I hope he can continue to get more minutes, continue to improve, and be a big asset for this Miami Heat team moving into the future. Anyway, that's all I have for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel.